One, two, 1, 2. Okay, good. If you're watching me now on the whoa live stream, hi, I'm Jamie. I'm gonna be on Off the Chart Radio. Well, I'm live now, actually. Normally, I start the video stream before the radio show. Tonight, it's all gone a bit backwards, but never mind. We're almost there, I think. OBS is just doing funny things. There we go. Okay. The streaming computer's still powering up, so things are going a bit slow that way. But the main thing was the radio show. Radio show's on. Hi, Mia. So if you can't hear any music, that's good. You're not meant to be able to hear any music on this stream. You need to go to offthechartradio.co.uk to hear that for licensing reasons and for very contemporary, urgent, imminent Twitch reasons, as many people on Twitch have found out. I'm also on Periscope and other things. And Facebook Live and YouTube Live, that's right. So I'm just going to do my first link. Dire Straits and Walk of Life. I thought that would be a quite apt song to sort of start off my goodbyes to this. I thought I'd be okay. No, I'm fine. Thanks to Rob Wong for the past couple of hours and a very nostalgic trip through his old laptop and the music it contained and the jingles and the promos, and yeah, that was great. But I sort of know what he means. If you heard him about half hour ago or so, he was saying, yeah, I'm weirdly okay with things. And yeah, that's what struck me. It's like, I should be more sad. I am sad. Obviously I'm sad. Of course I'm sad. Any ending is sad. But also, it's kind of meted by the fact that we now know that it's a possibility that it's not goodbye forever this time. I think last time it was like we'd been going for 10 years as a station. I'd been part of it for 7 years out of that 10 years. And it just felt like, I know it's a cliche, but it felt like an end of an era. It felt like it was never going to come back. And well, that's it then. We'll have to all move on with our lives. And, sort of try and move on. Not forget about Off the Chart. Obviously, you can't forget about 10 years of history. But just kind of carry on and go, well, that's done then. And nothing will ever replace that excitement of Jay Adkins phoning me up that day and saying, have you done any radio since Off the Chart closed? It's like, no. Well, Off the Chart's coming back. And I'm just like going, what? So, that feeling, that memory is indelible now. And it's just one of those perfect memories. And yeah, it won't be goodbye forever. I'm certain of it. Maybe it'll be years, but it won't be goodbye forever. Because we can pop up anytime, anywhere, any place. So if you want to get in touch tonight, Jamie at offthechartradio.co.uk or the social media channels. Oh, Mia's just saying, Dire Straits always a good shout. I just hope that didn't come out on the stream this time, because last week I accidentally played a song over the video stream despite saying, oh, no music will be heard in this stream, and then I blared out 2 minutes of the last track, which was a bit of a whoops moment, but never mind. Must also remember to give you a shout out on the actual radio, Mia, because I keep forgetting to do that. I give people a shout out on the video stream, and then totally forget that I haven't actually said anything on the radio with Bob. So I will try my best to do that. I'm also trying to set up. I've basically got one computer for social media and stuff. Talking which, there's the email. Verify it's me. It's definitely me, Gmail. Who else would it be? So let me just log into my OTC email. And yeah, if you, as Mia's done, if you send a message on the method by which you're seeing this video, then it should appear up there. Oh no, it's only polite for me to give a proper shout out. It's just I keep forgetting. It's like because once I say something, it's like my brain goes dunk done, and then I just completely forget that I never actually announced it on the proper radio. So I don't know if the stream's going a bit slow, but yeah, nothing I can do about that. I think the camera might need a reset. That's all. Let me try that now. Actually, sometimes it needs me to do. There we go. Still a bit slow, but it's okay. It'll do. It's not the main thing. Although when I go on Twitch full time, not full time, it's only going to be a hobby, like the radio was. But yeah, I've got a different studio for that. Fire off this next track first, I think. That jingle will do. See me grinning there. It's just because I don't want to jinx myself again, but sometimes I actually do a mix on the show that does make it seem like I've done radio before, you know? And sometimes I'm just looking and just going, what the heck was that? You know? All these years of training on the job, you could say, and what have I done? What was that? That's the beauty of live in some ways. Once it's gone, you know? Don't worry about it too much. Bit wombats now. So if you've just joined me, hello, welcome. If you're watching me now on this video stream and you can't hear any music, don't panic. That means everything's working fine, because for licensing reasons I can't play any music on this stream. What I'm doing is I'm playing the music on the actual radio show on offthechartradio.co.uk, and this is a kind of a behind the scenes extra bonus thing that I've been trying out for the past couple of weeks. It's been a bit longer than that actually. Past few weeks. Just turn myself down on the video stream there. So yeah, if you can't hear music, that's actually good. I know it's not necessarily good for you, but it's good for me. It means it's working properly. So yeah, there's the option of having the video on in the background, having the radio on in the foreground, or vice versa. I know that's a bit more difficult on tablet. But again, as I say, if you're not following me on Twitch already, twitch.tv/Jamie Nemeth, Nemeth, and I'm going to be doing that from after tomorrow, because tomorrow is our last show as a station altogether. This show right now is our last show in a traditional sense of it being someone's show. Tomorrow's like a party / send-off show. And then that's it from Off the Chart Radio. Although we'll still be on Mixcloud, so if you want to catch previous shows, mixcloud.com/offthechartradio. And yeah, my previous shows and lots of other DJs' previous shows. So yeah, again, apologies if there's long gaps, which wouldn't be typical of a Twitch stream. I know I'm on Periscope and Facebook Live and YouTube as well, but for Twitch in particular, I know just chatting tends to be, or should be at least, people actually chatting all the time, and I like, it's like this is just chatting plus silence as I do other stuff at the same time. This is weird. I'm not actually seeing the thing that usually tells me. Oh, there it is. Okay. That's the thing that usually tells me how many people are watching on the stream, but yeah, well, in some ways it's less distraction, but I don't know where it's gone. It's disappeared on me. So if you have tuned in, I haven't welcomed you. I apologise for that as well. I'm going to stop apologising for everything. I'm going to do. Oh, going to do another link. And it was all going so well. I was talking to the people listening on my behind-the-scenes video stream on Twitch, Periscope, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, and accidentally turned the fader up, and so you just heard me saying, I'm just going to talk to you. It's like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to talk to you guys on the radio show now, because that's I'm on the radio show now. That would make a lot of sense. What would make less sense is me saying I'm going to talk to you when you're already kind of maybe listening. I don't know. It'll all make sense in the end, won't it? Jamie Nemeth on the internet's number one. It's Off the Chart Radio, and I think this would be a good opportunity to bring in producer Mum and Dad, possibly, while I cover up for the fact that I've completely forgotten to put up the track titles for the last few songs. So let's do that now. Oh God. Oh, I've just accidentally pressed enter when I meant to press space, and so I've now just put live on our website the word, and just the word, Dire. On its own. No, I'm not feeling that bad, honest. It was meant to be Dire Straits, but we had Dire Straits' Walk of Life, and then 5, Keep On Moving, so that's a bit of a tenuous link on what's going to be a half tenuous track title to tonight, because we're going to do the second hour is going to be, well, it's going to be just as tenuous really, but it's going to be some requests for Dad for Father's Day, of course, and then some other tracks that I'm putting in to officially say goodbye to the station, because it feels wrong not to say goodbye, but I don't want to do sort of like a too deep thing, because yeah, I'm kind of okay. Without meaning to sound too negative, I've got assignments coming up, so it'd be nice to have a bit of a break. I've mellowed in 6 years. Is it 6 years or 7 years? No, 6 years since the station closed. The last show on the station, I was champing at the bit. I've got to save the station. Come on, we can do this. 6 years later, I'm like, yes, it's fine. It'll be fine. Because I know, I think it's because I know we'll pop up again. If we're ever told that we're not popping up again, then I'll be back to how I was 6 years ago. I'll be fuming. There we go. So you just have to lie to me, is what I'm basically telling you. But no, I have been chatting away. Tim's fascinated by what I've managed to do with the online video stream stuff, which is all an experiment. I've learned all this stuff in the last few weeks, but it has been fun sort of messing about with all of that and making my own little OTC studio, which is something I never got the chance to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years ago. So in a way, it's like a sort of merger of going back in time and doing stuff we never got the chance to do the first time round, and that's been nice. That's been really nice. But yeah, I think I'm going to be okay probably until the end of the show, and maybe until about a month's time, and then I'll start missing it again. Yeah, but we've got to move on. We're moving to New York. I don't know. Well, it's just because I like that song really. But we've got a song now. Let us move on. I mean, we've got no choice really. The station's closing tomorrow, so please do tune in tomorrow, 7 till 10 p.m. for our big send-off show. So tonight, this show right now that you're listening to right now is the official. I didn't know what I did to deserve this honour. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I am doing the very last show in a traditional sense. I've got to be careful how I say this, because otherwise it's like, hey, oi, we've got a show tomorrow. No, this is the last show, as in, this is the last show that someone is doing, as in a person or persons are doing with their names on the show, if that makes sense. And then tomorrow is all of us, all in, or as many of us as possible, all in to say goodbye to Off the Chart Radio Pop-Up, which, again, we're all very grateful to Tim for bringing us all back together, and it was really, really perfect timing, really, because we're all finding ourselves in the same boat. We're all finding ourselves with less to do, and sort of a bit bereft in a way. There's people who aren't working right now, as Rob was saying, and so just life completely transforming overnight. And I think we all reached at roughly the same point. Oh, I miss Off the Chart right now. And I'm really, really grateful and really, really glad that turned into something tangible and real over the last few months, actually. I should stop saying last few weeks, last few months. And I know it's not under ideal circumstances. Obviously, we'd all wish it wasn't a pandemic that brought us all back together. But whatever it was, we've proved that we can do this now. And I reckon we've proved we can do it again. But we are going to have to move on, at least for the next few weeks, months, years. So here's a track I haven't heard before, and a duet I never knew happened. Dido featuring Kendrick Lamar, and Let Us Move On. And I realised I said then, this would be a good time to bring Mum and Dad in. They didn't turn their mics on. So, yeah. We just had a really lovely barbecue outside. That's another reason why it's hard to be sad. We've had a lovely day today. Unexpected lovely day. We've gained a garden. We've gained a back garden through the lockdown. I mean, we haven't gained it. We didn't buy it or anything. You know, it was always there. It was just a bit of a state. And now we have a back garden. Well, this amazing the effect that just transforming one corner of the garden's had. We've got like a little barbecue spot, and so we sat out all day today. Well, afternoon. Put some music on. The brilliant Jamie Moses was on Facebook and did a live stream. Did some Father's Day dedications, and that was really nice. Just have live music on. So it's like I feel like we had our festival. I mean, we've been watching festivals indoors. We've been watching Folk on Foot. We've been watching Isolation Festival, but we now had our actual outdoor festival with a screen. You know. Hopefully the track update is working now. Yeah, that's I do. The Adele song was pretty long. That was my fault. And this bottle as well. Why in previous weeks have I struggled and gone, I haven't got any water? Like, going halfway through the show. I've had this water bottle for weeks. Never occurred to me to bring it in the studio. It's like the Star Trek model of using technology. Whether you can call a water bottle technology, I suppose it is technology, but yeah. You use it once, it works really well. Never use it again. I don't know why it's going so loud to my desk. Everything's loud. Well. Jason Moyle is tuned in. Hi Jason, great to hear you, great to hear from you. He's reminded me that Sam and Joe are on tomorrow at 9 a.m, so I don't know if that's just my incompetence or whether they snuck that back in. Because I did think it was a bit of a shame on the last day of Off the Chart Radio. Seeing as Sam and Joe have been on every weekday morning from 9 a.m, surely they can do it one more time on the last day. So I apologise if I missed it. If you snuck in, well then, yeah, I didn't miss it because it wasn't there to miss. But at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Sam and Joe. So mine actually is the penultimate show. Well, that's good. That's a load off my shoulders, actually. Because now I'm not carrying the very last show that has a person's name on it, an individual or two people's, yeah. I said it better earlier. But yeah, now I'm not carrying that burden. Thank you, Jason. Actually, that's really good. Hello to Mia as well, who's tuned in and joining. Well, it's my last show on the station. That's for certain. But it's not the last show because we've got the big send-off show from 7 till 10 p.m. tomorrow night. But we've also got another Sam and Joe. I'm happier now. I'm much happier now. Although it's hard to be sad as well today, because let me tell you why things were a bit dishevelled at the start of the show. That's because it's tradition, and it's always dishevelled at the start of the show. I think I had one show on Off the Chart Radio pop-up where things weren't dishevelled, and it was a wonderful experience, but it didn't feel normal, didn't feel right. So yeah, today, obviously I said Father's Day and stuff, so we've been out in the garden, we've reclaimed part of our garden as well, because I mean, our garden existed; it was always there, but it's amazing the amount of transformation that can occur when you just transform a corner, a small corner. We took our old shed down, which sort of took itself down. Really, it was bits of shed that were remaining, like an old castle almost. There were little bits sticking up to let you know where the shed used to be, and that was pretty much it. So we managed to get rid of that, and we'd been donated a shed by a neighbour about a few months ago, possibly a year ago. Anyway, it was there, ready, in waiting to go up, and now our garden actually looks like a garden again. You need to ignore the bottom corner, but the top corner looks like a garden again. And then we found online through a friend of a friend that people were giving away these paving slabs that they had just in their garden for years, and they didn't have a use for them, and they're just like random misshapen bits of paving slabs. Some of them were complete slabs, some of them were bits of slabs. They work perfectly to extend this little area, and we put a barbecue out, and most people have some sort of brick thing that they build up to put the barbecue on top of. We only had one of these disposable ones. I know, sorry environment, but we put that on top of. People normally put that on top of like a brick built thing, maybe, or a trestle table or something like that. What did we have ours on top of?
An old sink.
Yeah. Well, it worked. Hey, it worked actually. It worked really well. Recycling for the win. Hello, producer mum or producer dad. One of
Hello,
you.
Dad wants to say oi about the bottom of the garden. He's worked hard on the bottom of the garden.
I only mean because there's like bits of drain pipe there. That's all.
They're holding down the tarpaulin.
Well, true.
Which is at the moment acting as a kind of weed killer.
He's worked hard on the whole garden. Let's be fair. It really does look brilliant. But again, I keep thinking, well, why weren't you doing this before? But it's because, well, for a long time, Dad was taking me back and forth to work. Okay, now I'm driving myself. Then he was taking my sister back and forth to work, and we were all just kind of getting home and kind of going, bleh, weren't we?
Yeah.
So we went around to help, and now at least I don't feel like I've helped that much, but I've helped a bit when I could. Because one good thing, again, I've said this before, I don't take it for granted. Let me get my speech out again. I don't take it for granted that I've been lucky enough to be able to work from home and other people haven't been. I know that's, it's not a possibility for everyone. But it means I've reclaimed this working time, this commuting time. No, I haven't reclaimed any working time. Hello, bosses. I've, the time it takes me to commute back and forth to work is now extra time. I'm already home.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
It makes a huge difference.
You're not so tired.
Yeah.
And then when you
again,
clock out,
hello bosses. No, I'm just chipping into it. Hello bosses. I'm not trying to say the job was so tiring that it's the driving.
It's the commuting is always
driving.
tiring.
Yeah.
For everybody, the commuting is tiring.
Yeah.
And I really hope that comes out of this. That anybody that's able to work from home, as employers, will make it possible for them to do so.
I mean, again, now I'm genuinely saying hello, bosses, because the company I'm working for now, we were really in a, again, perhaps it's an unfair advantage in a sense, but they've always had employees who've worked from home, so it wasn't like a new thing. Whereas I know other companies have had to adapt very quickly. Some of them have adapted well, some of them have adapted not so well, but everybody's trying their hardest. I recognise that, but in our case, it was just a case of, all right, you want to work from home, that's fine. We kind of do that anyway. It's kind of what happens. They were very quick to reassure us it won't make any difference to us whatsoever where you work from, as long as you're doing the job that we're paying you for. They didn't say it like that. That's me putting the comedy sketch away at the end, but that's essentially it. They honestly didn't mind, and it was really, really. I'm really grateful for that, because it's pure chance. Because a year ago I was in teaching, and can you imagine? I mean, well, for a start, I was on a temporary contract, so I imagine that if I was still teaching right now, by the way economics are and everything, I would just not be teaching. The temporary contract would just have been ended earlier, is the sad reality of it, as has happened, as we've seen, haven't we, with other people's temporary contracts. They've just been brought to a halt, and that's not really fair, but,
But the purpose of technology and the World Wide Web was supposed to be to make it possible for people to do things like video conferencing, instead of travelling halfway across the world. And now that we realise the environmental consequences of all the travelling, then it's terrible that it took its pandemic for people to say, well, we'll have to try out technology that maybe we weren't that sure about, but now we've got no choice. Now they've tried it out, they know it works.
Yeah.
So that should be there is no other. It's a bit awkward saying it because there was a TV series in America, I believe, called The New Normal. But as a TV series encompassing, the new normal could be a way forward that could help without us having to step back, as somebody tried to imply once, that we'd have to go back into the Stone Age in order to cut back on the environmental impact. No, we don't. We just need to use the technology that's there. And that's what Tim has done now with the pop-up station. He's used the technology that's there.
Well, we're using a different broadcast medium. Yeah, thank you, Tim. We're using a different broadcast medium now than we were years ago. Similar format in terms of, the shows are 2 hours long on average. There have been some that have been different lengths, but obviously tomorrow's big party show will be 7 till 10, so that's 4 hours long. But yeah, we've experimented with a new. Actually, no, it's not the same format. Same length of shows, but different format entirely.
You need to take your multivitamins, Jim.
What do you mean?
For a show.
Yeah, but I'm not presenting. It'll be Tim that needs the multivitamins.
I was 7 till 10, 4 hours.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that one out.
Okay.
Mr. Mathematician.
Maybe the sangria has gone to my head. That's another reason why it's hard to be sad right now. We've had a lovely barbecue in the garden. Had sangria. So there we are, not too much. Josie was apologising for not making it with enough alcohol. I was thanking her because I had the radio show. So it was mostly fruit juice. Yeah, you're right. 7 till 10 is not... Hang on. I need an independent adjudicator here. Tim, what's going on here? I always thought it was a 4-hour show. Why am I blaming Tim? It's just my maths. It's terrible. Let's double check it. Totally professionally. Just go onto the schedule right now. Check there's no more surprises. I'll find out. I've got another show from 10 o'clock tomorrow or something. No, that won't be good. Right, 7 till 10. Yeah. Okay, that's 3 hours, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Josie said it was the same amount of alcohol but more juice.
This isn't going to be like the reverse situation of Raj in The Big Bang Theory, is it? Where the minute you tell me there's more alcohol, suddenly the show will...
You do that anyway.
Yeah, I do. Mia's saying hello, Mummy and Daddy Num Nums as well.
Hello, Mia.
Hello, Mia. We miss you.
And Sarah D is in the house.
Hello, sir.
And she's also said the same thing. 3 hours, yeah, okay. It'd be nice if I could say maths was never my strong point, but as somebody with a PhD in physics, I can't really do that, can I? Anyway, moving on. This is a song called Moving On, actually, by a band called Whistling Wind. Again, I'm finding all this stuff in my music collection I didn't know existed. Yeah. What was the message before that? I missed... Let me just see if I can... wrong computer. Let's see if I can get this working. For some reason it's missing one of the windows I normally use. Oh, now it's asking me to do a verification. Select all images of the cars. There you go. Right. Those all have cars in them. Ah! There we go. Back in action. Missed a message there, so let me have a look. Oh, yeah, okay. I was going to joke, and I'm glad I'm saying it off air, actually. Are you still listening to me off air, by the way? Otherwise, I'm answering your question and you won't be able to hear me. Because I was going to jokingly say on air, well, I work here now. No, I'm working for a software company who whose office is in Baglan, but I do commute back and forth every now and then to, there's for essential tasks, but only as and when needed. So most of the time I'm working from home. I'm doing software developing, which is a curveball. I mean, software developing is always something I've done as a hobby, but and it's just quite simply, I just never thought myself good enough to do as a job. God, my hair's getting worse. It's okay how my hair looks, but I care if it looks like antenna sticking up. So yeah, I mean, I've always done coding as a hobby. I've made websites as a hobby. I did a placement in second year of uni where I made a website, which I guess you could argue wasn't really a hobby. So I keep putting it down as being a hobby. I've learned a lot as a hobby, I've realised, because work have put me on a course. So I went from this bizarre situation where, with teaching, I kept having to go around the same. It felt like being in a sci-fi episode. I had to go around the same time loop over and over again because you'd prove that you could do certain things with the teaching and you'd evidence it and you put it in your portfolio, and then because you'd have to wait, because you're competing for jobs with people who need the job. I mean, I needed a job as well, but you're competing with people who were out of a job but who were full-time teachers, full-time, fully qualified, having passed induction, who needed a job. So, there was one job where I was second place to someone who'd been a head of department for 11 years, and obviously the head of in a world. Let me just change this song over. In a world that's working properly, of course the head of department for 11 years would get the job. Of course they would, with no ill will from me. Obviously, that's right. But that's the situation I was finding myself in. It's like, I had 0.1 years of experience. They had 11 years of experience. Oh no, well, they had maybe nearly 20 years of experience, with 11 years of those being head of department. So I couldn't get an eligible job to complete the induction for a long time. I was doing bits here and there. And then the minute I got myself a placement that was at least a few months long, so it's like, right, we're back on it now, but then all of my existing evidence was old, so I had to redo the whole thing over and over again. At least twice I went around this loop. And yeah, the last time I won't go into fully, but nightmare. Everybody always goes, oh, it's the kids. No, it wasn't the kids. What's the word? That's the way the system worked, and things being made arbitrarily harder than they ever needed to be, for no apparent reason other than to make them hard for the sake of it, and I had people who were being brilliant mentors to me, but weren't my official mentors. And there's a time where I was playing Guess the Mentor. I didn't even know who my mentor was, and that's who my official mentor was supposed to be. My external mentor ended up sort of who you're only meant to see once in a while, just to check on everything going okay. Ended up being brilliant. They were just a brilliant person anyway, but they were having to sort of take the role of internal mentor by proxy, if you like, because of this uncertainty and everything that was going on. And yeah, I went from a job where I felt like if I worked really, really, really hard, if I really pushed myself, broke my back, put 357% into it, I might finally get the accolade of being seen as okay at my job. So to go from that to a job where I've only ever done it as a hobby, and I've been taken on full time for something that's only ever been a hobby, that I didn't feel like I'd proved myself at yet, and yet they'd seen enough potential in me to give me that chance. it was kind of, that's why I say it was a curveball. It was just like, whoa, my brain is going like this, you know? Somebody seeing value in you after you've had your sense of self-worth squished to microscopic levels, you know? You don't believe it at first, is the reality. But then they've put me on a course where, essentially, so I've been taken on in a job full time, where in 3 years I'll be qualified to do the job. As far as I was concerned, I was already qualified to teach, and yet, yeah, you weren't made to feel like that. Not in the last, I shouldn't say that's universal across all of the schools I've been in, you know. Some of the schools have been absolutely fantastic and bent over backwards, and you know, and some of the staff, even when I was having a hard time, you know, some of the staff were fantastic, you know, so I'm not knocking that. Well, cheers, mate. It's, yeah, I'm a lot better. I'm a lot better off now, yeah. But I feel a lot better now. I was going through sort of, like, it shocked me when other people were saying about going through PTSD, and I'd never ever claimed to have such a thing. That it feels wrong to claim such things, because, like, no, that's for people who've actually suffered something. No, you know, I'm not going to claim that. But when you have panic attacks on your way into work, and you're bursting into tears on the way into work after half term, no, I was told, actually, when I did my first placement, you know, if you're feeling like this, it's not for you. I didn't at the time. I felt brilliant. It was all going great. I was enjoying it. But several years later, that I had to plough on for the sake of the pupils, you know. Well, no, I felt I had to plough on because it wasn't fair on the pupils that I had a hard time with it as well, with supply teacher after supply teacher. Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit melancholy. Hard-fi and move on now. Should we pick up the pace a little bit? Let's do that. Yeah. History 6, because, you know, lots of people say try not to make your identity inseparable from what you do. You know, what you do shouldn't be who you are. But when what you do is what you are, when it's something like teaching, or, you know, in teaching you're performing all the time. So when you're an artist, you know, I mean, I sympathise with people who are gigging musicians. I've said that loads of times now, obviously, but what you do is what you are. You can't separate the two. They're not distinct concepts. And anything where you're in a public-facing role, I'm not trying to, you know, it's not only things where you're performing, like on the stage. No, I mean, like, anything where you're facing the public, whether that's on the phone as a call center operator, you're still doing that. You're performing. You know, it doesn't matter how awful the last person on the phone to you has been. You have to sort of go, dust yourself off and go, hello, I'm so-and-so, and you're calling so-and-so, how can I help you? It wears you. Yeah, I can imagine, you know, same with me. I got an appreciation for that with the teaching. It's not the kid's fault. The next kids walking into your lesson don't know that you've been through a battering of an observation, or, you know, the kids acting up before you, or whatever, you know. And the kids who act up one lesson could be angel of the next lesson. It's not their fault. The kids. That's what we were told on teacher training. Kids are kids. Don't blame kids for being kids. They're kids. And it's a very bad cycle to get into, to blame them. It's their fault. Well, no. That doesn't mean that it's your fault either. Just maybe that the circumstances, you know. There's one time, because I had a lovely class of year 7s, really lovely. All lovely. It's lovely people. They're not lovely kids, they were just lovely people overall, but, you know. There's one time they came in, I think it had hailed over the lunch break, and they weren't allowed into the building. So they literally came in going like this. And I was just like, and they said, sir, do you mind if we just wait for the radiator for a little bit? I was just like, honestly, I'm not starting the lesson for at least 5 minutes. You're good. You know? the Kooks, and she moves in her own way. And like Rob Wong's show, I didn't deliberately do a show of nostalgic stuff. It's just that a lot of my music is, as I've said before, stuck in amber from 2014. But this is turning into a bit of a sort of nostalgic student radio-y show in a way, isn't it? Well, there's a couple of obscure tracks that I haven't heard myself before, other than preparing for this show. And then there's tracks like that where it's just like, I'm straight back in my student radio station. I was having a chat on, I think it was it in one of the Twitch rooms? I can't remember. I've mentioned Twitch before. I'm getting really into the community side of it, and we were having a big chat about music licensing, as you do, because we're geeks. We're all geeks about, I found a fellow radio geek, basically. Even though we were in a computer game room, I'm talking about the computer game. Once we got onto music licensing, they were saying, oh, I've been on the student radio. They were talking about being on Jam Radio in Yorkshire. I can't remember which university, but I said, no, I've heard of that. It might have been Hull. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they said, oh, where were you from? I said, oh, I used to do Extreme Radio in Swansea, and Extreme Radio was one of, I think it was the third oldest radio station in the UK. I say was, still going. Third oldest radio station in the UK, student radio station. And it was really, really pleasing to see that a few years ago they were chosen as the hosts of the Student Radio Awards, and I thought that was just a really nice accolade. I wasn't even part of I wasn't part of the university at all back then, unfortunately, because I'd love to have gone along to that. But yeah, it'd be nice to have like I think I started off a page like Extreme Radio Alumni, and it's one of those many Facebook pages that just disappear. Well, it's still there, but it just kind of becomes like a time capsule. No one's commented for years. I can't even access the lists now because of the way that the pages have changed in their operation, and it'll just forever be a time capsule of its time with the old station logo on there and everything. So we've got a more recent time capsule on Off the Chart Radio, which is really nice. So mixcloud.com/offthechartradio. That's mixcloud.com/offthechartradio. And I think that's what's really nice as well. That's what's hard. It's hard to be sad because when I looked back at my old radio archive, and the last show I did was 2014. Yeah, that feels like a long time ago. Now we've got a brand new archive, a really brand new archive of stuff that we can all listen to. And I still need to catch up on a few shows actually. So I'll be doing that for the next few weeks. I hope that you will be too. And yeah, keep an eye on offthechartradio.co.uk. The website hasn't disappeared. Even in the 6 years we've been off air, it's still been there ticking away in the background, as has Our Tale Continues, my offshoot website, www.ourtalecontinues.co.uk, where I try my best to keep track of all of the Off the Chart Radio presenters in their pastures new, as I've said on there. But because it's me, Nibzo, here in charge of it, what I'm really going to hope to do, now that I've got a bit more time on my hands, is I'm going to rebuild the whole site. I've been put off doing it because it's like you don't want to rebuild something that sort of works. But it's getting to the point now where there's not so much bugs. There's nothing that'll break your computer or anything. But there's the odd bug where, now that we're in British summertime, all of the Twitter announcements are going out an hour late. So it's probably saying around about now that I'm about to go on air in 15 minutes time, whereas I've been on air for 45 minutes. But little minor things like that. But also what I'd love to be able to do is provide an opportunity for the DJs themselves to update the shows so that I can shift the blame from myself. That's totally transparently why I'm doing it. But no, it would be nice because, sometimes I'll miss people changing shows, or maybe there'll be a one-off show and I'll be busy with uni work or work, and I'll just miss something. And yeah, it'd be nice to make a system where people can upload their own shows and change their own show details. I now know how to do this, whereas I didn't years ago. These are things that I've learned to be able to do in the language that the website runs in. So yeah, Our Tale Continues. Our Tale Continues.co.uk. It's because I had the dot in my head, and for some reason the dot wanted to come out in the middle of the words. I don't know. Yeah, just cause. Anyway, I'm gonna play a song now. Can you hear that? Hang on. Can you hear that beep? If you can hear Windows randomly complaining in the background, other operating systems are available. It's because I'm pressing the button to play the next song, but it yeah, it wasn't working, so I've used the mouse now. So if you heard that beep, sorry. Yeah, that's I don't know. That's not a jingle. That's just me being incompetent again. That's the beep I was expecting to hear. Or the dong. So a song that I've heard before, but pretty rarely. Sophie Ellis-Bextor and "Move This Mountain." Oh, cheers, Mia. Speak to you soon. If you do take the radio to the bath with you, don't drop it in. I've got a shower speaker that I've been using as well. That I bought for teaching, actually. Little suction pads, you can stick it to the tiles. And yeah, I've never ever used it in the shower. So that could be a topic for the radio show, maybe. Things that you buy that have a specific purpose that you never ever use for that purpose. Be a very limited feature, I guess. Realize the rendering lag might be because I've got things open that I don't need open again. Like Autodesk. Oh, and I haven't opened it in admin mode. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for now. Should have opened OBS Studio, the software that I'm using to broadcast this stream now, called OBS Studio. It's completely free. It amazes most of its users at how it's free, because it's such good software. Such versatile software, you know, it's lets you run your own radio, your own TV station, essentially, in a way. Not in a sense of automation. You have to be sat in front of it. But for streaming and things like that, fantastic. Excuse me. Oop. Get done. I need to do one of the tracks. Got to put up on the Twitch streamers thing that I was live. How do I do that? Is that here? Yep. It is. Hi, Matthew. I'm just doing some shameless self promo on one of the groups that I'm part of. From the off chart pop up. Talking and typing's never been my strong point. There we go. Oh. Got the link. The man. Oh. Talking about links. For another hour. The jingle says that revolution continues. not sure that jingle made any sense, actually. I'm just playing old nostalgic jingles just because I can. It's the last chance I'll get to do it. 1 year on from what? I don't know. That was obviously from a specific jingle package. But never mind. Here's Journey and Mystery Mountain. Before that, we had Sophie Ellis-Bextor, Move This Mountain. Because this is the Tenuous Track Title Tour where I'm linking together tracks by their track titles. More tenuously than others sometimes. We've got some news from nowhere and some Biffy Clyro on the way on the show. Alright, let's fix this link. That one. There you go. Forgot to put the HWTP in at the start, so it didn't pop up properly. Right. Hola! Must also remember to give you a shout out on the actual show. So if you can't hear any music right now, you're not meant to. You need to go there. Whoa, that's the portal to the Nemosphere again. Let's sort this out. The new webcam I bought has got such a wide field of view that it picks up like bits of the shelves over there. That's why I've cropped it there. But gem of a camera for 20 quid. If you're stuck working from home and need a webcam for meetings, well, it's actually gone up a little bit now. It's about 25 quid on eBay, unbranded webcam. Quite happy to send the link over to that. The problem with the eBay ones is that once the seller sells out, they might not buy any more. So the ones I bought it from aren't selling it anymore. But yeah, I mean, in terms of reliability testing, I can only test the one I've got. It's one camera that I've bought. It's lasted at least as long as I've been doing this live stream, which is a month or two. And every work meeting that I've used it for. So, yeah. I recently did a video on my YouTube channel as well about a HDMI capture card that is £10. So if you've got a camcorder that's got a HDMI output, you can use that as a webcam. I'd read out the link. It'd be nice if it was youtube.com/Jamie Nemeth, but it's not because I don't own that yet. I need 100 followers to do that. So if you'd like to follow me on YouTube, you can find the link to my YouTube channel somewhere, probably. If you go to my Twitch, twitch.tv/Jamie Nemeth, my link to my YouTube channel's on there. It's also at the top of my Instagram at the moment, which is instagram.com/JamieFiddle. I couldn't get Jamie Nemeth on there, it was already taken. Annoyingly, it's been taken by somebody who hasn't posted anything. That's the most frustrating thing. If somebody's taken an account, but there are other Jamie Nemeths in the world, it's not uniquely my name, that's absolutely fine. I'm fine with that. So I was like, Dash, I didn't get there first, never mind. But I do get really annoyed when somebody's got the name and they haven't done anything with it. I mean, I was also getting annoyed at myself. The Twitter that I'm using for this radio show, which is @Jamie Nemeth, twitter.com/Jamie Nemeth, I actually wasn't using myself for several years, and I thought, am I being a hypocrite by not using that account? But I don't want to lose it, because if I lose it and another Jamie Nemeth gets it, that's no good, is it? So if I was going to lose one, I should really lose the Jamie Fiddle one. But then I don't want to lose Jamie Fiddle, because that's good, because it's mine. It's Jamie Fiddle. I don't know. Oh no, it wasn't YouTube. It was yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? I have thought of doing that actually, because I've got Nemethsphere as well. I thought maybe we should get all the Nemeths around the world and get us all into contact. I think the only unfortunate thing is that if you Google Jamie Nemeth, the Jamie Nemeth that you get that isn't me, one of them is in prison for a very long sentence, and yeah, you know, it's just like, yeah. So, I mean, if it was like somebody who got involved in a bit of trouble, got involved with the wrong people, and saw the error of their ways, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. But the longer the sentence, the more likely it is that it would be somebody I don't necessarily want to associate with, depending on what it is. Yeah. So don't look too far down that Google list of Jamie Nemeth. It wasn't me, as as the famous song goes. But yeah, it would be fun actually. There are obviously both male and female Jamie Nemeths. Jamie being a name that could, you know, is more typically. I'm trying to be careful with my words here. There are some names that obviously are more statistically typically male than female, and more that male than female. And Jamie is sort of pretty much as close down the middle as you can get, I guess. Oh yeah. Matthew just saying, as I was talking about the channel earlier, that was a bit annoying because they've used the name Jamie Nemeth, but they've never posted anything. Perhaps the reason they're not using the channel is because they're currently in prison. Yeah, maybe. Are they not allowed Instagram in prison then? I was watching a video by TechMoan, who I am a big fan of on YouTube, and probably can find by going to /TechMoan. Tech as in TECH. And then moan, as in moaning, like MOAN. TechMoan. Sorry, drank that squash too quick. Maybe it's a sangria. And he was doing a fascinating video recently, fascinating to me at least, because all of these transparent TVs, transparent radios, transparent Walkmans, things like that, that people buy on eBay because they think they look cool. He was saying people don't necessarily realize the origins of, you know, it's not that there's anything wrong with them. It's just that he said, you know, people don't realize the fascinating history behind them, that they were made specifically for prisons, because in America, less so in the UK, don't know about other parts of the world, in American prisons, some of them are incredibly strict on what technology you're allowed to have, and, you know, so if you have a radio, you're only allowed to have one that like doesn't have a headphone socket or whatever, or, you know, or that you can only listen to on headphones. You can't have it too loud. So the volume is limited on them and things like that, and they've got to be transparent, obviously, because you might try and smuggle things in with them. So we're going on to a bit of a mountain theme on our Tenuous Track Title tour at the moment. Journey and Mystery Mountain, News from Nowhere, and Alone on a Mountaintop. And then, well, we can't talk about mountains without playing this one. It would be illegal, I'm sure. Biffy Clyro and Mountains on the internet's #1. It's Off the Chart Radio. That's just me putting the water bottle down. I just got some Facebook messages in that I hadn't seen. Because they hadn't come through the stream. If you send a message on the video stream, it should appear there. But the ones that are sent to me privately in Facebook chat, no, that's just... Rob Wong just sent me a message. He was talking about Sophie Ellis Bextor and Move This Mountain. He said it sounded a bit like the start of Futurama, didn't it? Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that as a little bit. Now that I'll have all this spare time after Off the Chart Radio finishes. No, okay. I'll have slightly more spare time. But I'm planning on replacing it with a Twitch show anyway. So I guess I won't have any more spare time than I would have before. Twitch.tv/Jamie Nemeth if you'd like to follow me on there. Because Off the Chart Radio has... it sounds a bit odd because I'm promoting something else. I'm saying Off the Chart Radio is finishing, boo-hoo, but follow me on Twitch because everything's carrying on anyway. Now, that's not how I meant it at all. I just mean that Off the Chart Radio has given me the bug back to do something broadcasty. Something live, and Twitch, well, actually, no, Twitch was around. Twitch has been around for 10 years, around about as long as Off the Chart Radio was going. I just never had any interest in it before, and it was primarily a gaming platform. Now it's been opened out to people who are doing podcasts and talk shows and things like that. So no music on there so much, especially not right now, because of, it's a bit of a crackdown going on music licensing and music being used on Twitch at the moment, but that you can find out more about that in the news. Go and Google it yourself. The search engines are available. I've got the bug back, so I'm hoping to at least do one show a week on Twitch. So if you've enjoyed the talking part of my show on here, then I hope that you will join me from next week. I'm earmarking Thursday 8 till 10 p.m. for some sort of cheap rip-off of Dara O'Brien's Go 8-Bit. Very cheap rip-off. It's not going to be a rip-off. I'm not copying him. It's just a bit unfortunate that I have said that I'm so into retro games and then managed to miss all of Dara O'Brien's Go 8-Bit. I don't know how I did that, so I should watch that back as well. I think with TV series, that's the problem. If I know I can't get into it fully, I won't get into it at all, because I don't want to catch like one episode in the middle somewhere. I want to catch the whole thing. I want to commit to it and dedicate myself to it. So, yeah, maybe I can catch up with that. I don't know. I'm a bit sad because just as I was thinking, I should get into that, it finished. Always happens. But yeah, I'm going to do some sort of hybrid of just chatting, as it's called on Twitch, where you, not surprisingly, just chat, and some retro games, because I managed to get some retro games working on my PC. I've been playing Sonic the Hedgehog, the original Sonic the Hedgehog, Master System style, Sega Master System. Again, the consoles are available. But weirdly today, that's something I found out today. It popped up on my Facebook. This is getting tired. The search in, the social media is available. Yeah, okay. That's too much now. But I found the fascinating page of Duo, the Two-Faced Cat. Look it up. Duo, the Two-Faced Cat. And, oh my gosh, cats are cute anyway, unless you're a cat hater, in which case you're weird. But Duo, the Two-Faced Cat, had this condition where, and they've said it's not quite the same as when you have like a conjoined twin. it's a different situation. So it is definitely one cat, one single cat. But what happened somewhere during the development is that the facial features didn't stop growing. And the thing that made me giggle, which I shouldn't have, because it's like, oh, he's having to have operations, poor thing. And, he seems happy as Larry, but he's having to have all these operations all the time, obviously to try and keep ahead of the fact that his body's growing in a way that it shouldn't be and stuff. And it's like, oh. But then it said that the growth, the abnormal growth, was caused by, wait for this, the abnormal growth was caused by the overproduction of the Sonic Hedgehog protein. I mean, so was somebody just like some scientist somewhere was just like, oh, you get to name the protein. Oh well, I quite like Sonic the Hedgehog. Will that do? Yeah, okay. So it's now officially known as SHH, the Sonic Hedgehog protein. Yeah. I thought I was a geek. Now I'm not a geek anymore. That takes some doing, a whole biological protein named after Sonic the Hedgehog. So there we go. Maybe because it's speedy. I don't know. It's speeding up things faster than they're supposed to go naturally. The mutation is natural, I suppose, in a sense. But the thing that did make me giggle again, though, and makes you feel a little bit less sorry for the poor cat, only because the cat has two mouths, and they said one of the favourite things the cat likes to do is bury its head so deep into the food that it gets to eat with both mouths at the same time, and you're just going, yeah. On the one hand, you're thinking, whoa, that's strange. On the other hand, you're thinking, if I had two mouths, that would be me. Would it be me at the barbecue today? Scouting for Girls and the Mountains of Navajo, another song I haven't heard before. Me and Rob Wong were just trying to work out what on earth happened in 2009. Because the jingle I played, which ominously said, the revolution continues. 1 year on. What revolution? What revolution happened in September 2009? The jingle was September 2010. And Matthew just saying Dr. Robotnik would be proud. Yeah, there's a protein named after him. He would be proud, wouldn't he? That came up in the pub quiz, the Bingo-Lingo pub quiz that we've been playing. Where he said, Dr. Robotnik? Dr. Robotnik, is that right? And I just went, nope. The answer to the question, Sonic the Hedgehog, and nope. Before he'd even managed to say the question. The question was, obviously, Dr. Robotnik is the enemy of which video game character? By the way, this isn't sangria, this is squash. This is blackcurrant squash. In case you were wondering. I've got another water bottle that looks exactly like some sort of hip flask. It's bright blue, but it looks like a hip flask, so it was a bit embarrassing to take into work and drink like that. And it was like, it's just water. Honest, it's just water. So I put the mics on. Scouting for Girls live from the mountains of the Swansea Valley here in sunny South Wales. It actually is sunny. We normally say it sarcastically, but it actually is sunny right now. So, of course, I've made the most of that sunshine by coming inside to do this radio show. But Rob Wong has also said, yeah, that jingle sounded really ominous. As well as sounding like the title intro from 24. It wouldn't actually surprise me if it was the title intro from 24, actually. Yeah, that jingle was from September 2010. So, here's tonight's big question. What happened on OTC, on Off the Chart Radio, in September 2009? What was it? Come on, tell us, guys.
I don't know that. What I do know is revolution can refer to things revolving.
Thank you for that.
As in discs.
Well, yeah, but most of us haven't used discs in ages. Actual discs. It's bizarre. Okay, yeah.
Excuse me, the hard drive, what does it do?
Touché. But, yeah, it is weird, though, how technology has moved on. I haven't burnt a CD or a DVD in several years. I'm not talking about throwing them onto a fire. That would be weird. I mean, like, you know, when you have a DVD, a writable DVD that you can make yourself, you can put your own photos on as a backup or whatever.
But you play them, and the laser revolves around the surface.
Well, I play the odd CD, but not very often. Anyway, you don't use a laser in a hard disk, though. That's a magnetic head.
Don't use a laser with a CD.
With a CD, yes.
So it revolves. So it's a revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, but if it was a CD, then that wouldn't be very good either, because that would be the revolution starts here, and here, and here, and here, and here.
It goes on forever!
You've seen how fast CDs spin?
No, I haven't, because you don't lift the lid up.
No, that's very good advice. You don't lift the lid up.
You know, safety advice here. Please do not lift the lid up to look at the laser that is reading your disc.
No, because it's invisible and you won't necessarily see it. Well, it may or may not be invisible. It depends. But yeah, you don't want it in your eyes, whatever way.
No, safety advice: do not lift up the lid when you're playing the CD.
If nothing else, you could sort of graze your finger or something.
Hopefully, it would stop, but just in case.
It usually does. It's normally not got much force and much momentum going. To be fair. CD. Anyway, how did we get onto this?
You said the word revolution.
Yeah, I want to know what happened. There must have been some major change in Off the Chart Radio in 2009, because I was thinking, maybe it was when Tim officially took over, but Tim took over in like 2006, so it wasn't that. It was something else.
Joined?
No, I joined in 2007.
Oh. So
much as I'd like to think it was me, no, it wasn't me. Something happened in September 2009, and we must solve this mystery by the end of the show. So, fellow Off the Chart Radio DJs who are tuned in, I need your help. I need to know what happened in September 2009, although it might not have been. It might have been more loose than that. Maybe it just meant a year on. A year on. So, sometime in 2009, not necessarily September.
Did Bobby Beth join? Did you go international?
Maybe.
Or was it the meeting that you had?
The meeting.
Maybe as well. Yeah, it could have been the OTC meetup. Yeah, there's still videos floating around on YouTube from the meetups. I don't know if I'm in any of them. I don't think I am, but I was there at one of them.
And they didn't take the challenge on board.
No, they didn't. We brought lava bread all the way up from South Wales, and they were doing a food challenge, where people were going to have blindfolds on and taste food and try and guess what it was. That would be the prime thing, surely, for some strange tasting food. The lava bread, if you don't know, it's spelled Laver, and it is
unusual.
Essentially, yeah, it's seaweed. That's perfectly safe to eat and everything, but it's an unusual delicacy here in South Wales. Come on, I mean, they have jellied eels elsewhere, and they have even worse things. I mean, you know. At least it's just a plant, right? You might find it disgusting, and fine. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to feel that way about it. But at least it's just seaweed. It's just a plant. It's just like eating salad, just a lot more salty
But
and a lot
they
more
didn't
squidgy.
take on
And
the
they didn't take
challenge.
on the challenge. No. They wouldn't even. They wouldn't even.
So
test
if you
it out
do
on
have a
anybody.
future meetup,
Yeah.
that has to be a future challenge.
Rob Wong's saying, I joined. So that's what it is. We've solved the mystery now. Thank you. Right, that's it. No more
There we
messages
are.
now.
It's
We've
Rob
solved it. It's done.
International vlogger Rob Wong.
Rob Wang? No.
Sorry, that
Rob,
was-
Rob Wang is somebody who tried to take over his channel, and
No,
there's been a
this-
huge copyright dispute over
Sorry, that was the gin talking.
it.
Rob Wong, international vlogger.
We don't talk about Rob Wang. We never talk about Rob Wang.
And Welsh cake eater.
And
Yes,
Welsh
that's
cake.
true.
He devoured every Welsh cake.
He did like the Welsh
That
cakes,
there was, yeah.
But that's what we should send some up some point, shouldn't we? He said he remembers that he thinks it was just a branding thing. The OTC postcards that we had at the time. I still keep finding them every so often. Every time I find like if I've had a bag to go away with, right, and I go, oh, I need a bigger bag this time. Where's that old bag I used to take away with me? I'll pick it up, and an Off the Chart Radio postcard will fall out.
Purple
Brilliant.
and pink,
yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah, they were purple and pink.
Yeah.
So he said he remembered that the OTC postcards at the time had something about a revolution on them. And we had a new logo. Maybe that's it. We had a new logo and a new website. The logo that you can see on the website now, offthechartradio.co.uk, wasn't the original one. It's been with us for several years, but it's really cool. I like that logo. But it's not the original one. The original one was a red logo. And it wasn't in perspective, and it had a different font on it.
They had a banner made as well, didn't they, for the festival they did?
Yeah, so maybe that's it. We had a rebrand, and that was the revolution.
Was that festival in that year?
Maybe it was. Clavstock, wasn't it? Jay Adkins got us into that, and that was really good.
They were supposed to be making CDs. Did they
Yeah,
make
that never
the
happened.
CDs?
No, we don't talk about that either.
Oh, that's the revolution. It's the revolution that didn't happen.
It's the revolution that we decided not to make the. I don't know what happened there. I think it was just that nobody ordered any. There was a big marketing campaign. I think that's what Tim said on his show. I'm not trying to misrepresent
Excuse
things.
me?
Tim
ordered
himself
one?
said this. I think.
We ordered one.
Well, yeah, but maybe we weren't allowed one because we were employees. I don't know.
We weren't employed.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We just wanted CD.
Well, you kind of were, because you had Dad going up on the ladder to help with getting our main supply coming in, and.
No, we don't mention that. Health and safety.
Oh
and
yeah,
all that.
yeah. No, he totally didn't do that.
No, he didn't do that.
No. He held the ladder while somebody else went up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Dear. We're talking about going up things. I've got this mountain theme going on. We've got of Monsters and Men now, and Mountain Sound. A great track. One that's very hard to blend into any other track, so we needed some talking before it. You're listening to the internet's number one Off the Chart Radio. Jamie Nemeth and family here until 10 p.m. UK time. Love this song. I love anything by Monsters and Men, but I love this one particularly. Right, and hopefully you can't hear any of this through the video stream. Shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't think Sam and Joe were there. I think he's just snuck that one back in to the schedule. That shouldn't feel too bad. Oh, right. Possibly a bit too early to relax, but I'm starting to relax a bit now. Oh. And it again. I turned off the track updater so that I could replay that clip of the Sophie Ellis-Bextor song so that it wouldn't register twice, and I've got to turn it back on. It's back on now. We're okay now. If your Clara Maintenance hasn't been going on this long. I think as long as it gets the title at least once per show, it doesn't matter when it happens. I think. No, because there could be a talking bit, so it doesn't measure the length of time.
Mum's left the building.
All right. Oh, so when I said producer Mum, you were staying quiet because you were being good. I get it. Yeah.
What?
But you weren't being good.
Who was? What?
I don't know.
What did you say?
I don't know what's going on there.
No, me.
No.
Half of me is asleep, so I don't know.
What did you think of that John Otway song anyway?
I enjoyed it. Good.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was it's just nice when someone's known for being so, and he's wacky, John Otway. He's just brilliantly wacky. But what is nice is when he does a song that's kind of a nice. I don't want to say normal song, but it's like it's not necessarily comedic. It can be humorous, but it's not comedic. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good. Because I thought I wasn't making sense then. I'm still not convinced I'm making sense. But anyway, right, okay. Matthew's tuned in. Hello to Matthew. And he actually requested a song that it turns out I was going to play anyway. I don't have the other one, unfortunately, because on Off the Chart Radio, it's always been reliant on our own personal music collections. So sometimes we haven't got certain songs. But this one actually was in the theme because, he's been listening intently and he's heard the mountain theme. And he said, how about River Deep Mountain High? I've got it lined up already by the Supremes and the Four Tops. One, two. Oh, there you go. Just as I was saying off air, that this desk's been with me for 12 years, and sometimes it's a bit of cajoling because the buttons get a bit grotty, and you have to sort of randomly punch a button that seems unrelated to the actual audio that's coming out. Just at that point, my video stream audio disappeared, so that's why I was rapidly switching. I've got two audio channels coming into this video stream. One of them is coming straight from the desk through the pre-fade channel, it's called. So it's so in other words, my mic is now off as far as the radio show is concerned. It's coming through the video stream though. That just broke for some reason. So I was kind of going, I don't know how to fix this. So then halfway through that, either if you had me kick in because I tuned in the backup stream. Which is the stream that's like a copy of the actual radio show output, so that you could hear what I was saying at least on air. So you at least had half a behind the scenes stream. I suppose it's not strictly behind the scenes if it's only what you hear on the radio show. That would be there's no behind the scenes to that at all. That's just the scenes, not behind anything. Yeah, sorry you lost me for a couple of minutes there. I'm going to be rewiring this once Off the Chart is over. Once Off the Chart is over, I'm going to be rewiring everything and putting my good sound card in my other computer so that the good sound card's in the streaming computer, because I'm aware this sounds a little bit buzzy at the moment still, despite my efforts. No point fixing it, given that this is the last show, and I'm going to be rewiring everything anyway. Is man back? I don't know, just put both mics on.
Yeah, I'm back.
And I was going to do half Tenuous Track Title Tour. It's turned into 3/4 of a Tenuous Track Title Tour, given that it's now 9:30, so I'm going to have to speed things up a little bit, I think. But I did think to myself, well, how on earth? Because Mum gave me the CD by the Bleeding Noses, saying, "Oh, Dad, you like the Bleeding Noses?" At which point he said, "What did you say, Dad?"
What?
Well, I think you said that, and then what did you say next?
About what?
About the bleeding noses.
I don't know.
Well, you said, who are the bleeding noses?
Oh,
and we had to
right.
say, come on,
Yeah.
you've heard of them. Yeah, Dad's been working hard today, so okay, I shouldn't put him on the spot.
No, the thing is, because we were going
Put it back.
to the Heritage Centre, Gower Heritage Centre,
Yeah.
they used to really graciously sit and torture themselves by listening to our set.
Yeah, yeah.
I think part of it was because the way the Heritage Centre is set up, there's a play area. So they would just come down with their children. The children would be playing, enjoying themselves in the play area. So even if they had to torture themselves for a set, the children were enjoying.
Yeah.
So I don't think Dad realizes who they are, but they always used to be.
You know what I'm like with names and all.
I know it's because, but there's also been a change of name. To be fair.
Well, yeah. This is a recurring theme, as I'm about to discuss. Because, well, they were called the Bleeding Noses, and then I think at some point they thought that was a little bit violent, even though I think it's a comical name. But I think they might have been worried it was a bit violent, so they called themselves, or maybe the record label thought it was, I don't know. So they called themselves the Noses for a while. And then also, do you remember, Producer Mum, a couple of weeks ago on my radio show, I said how hilarious it would be if the unidentified band I'd found, which came up on my computer as Nose, just N-O-S-E, Nose in capital letters, I said, they don't sound dissimilar to the Bleeding Noses, actually. That they're not the Bleeding Noses. But wouldn't it be funny if in a couple of weeks' time, it turns out that I find out that they actually were the Bleeding Noses all along?
And guess what?
When I put the CD into my computer, it said, this music's already been added to your music library. I thought, no, it hasn't. Has it? And I looked it up, and sure enough, it was a band called Nose. So that Nose were the Bleeding Noses.
But I think Dad doesn't know them as the name of the band. He just knows them as the people who used to come up and have a chat afterwards and say that they'd enjoyed the set or enjoyed the music, and then they'd chat, just generally chat about all the stuff that was going on in the Heritage Centre. I don't think he's associated the name with the people he was talking to.
No.
But that's what is. I'm giving a shout out here to the Heritage Centre, but I'm also giving a shout out to other venues, because it is important to think about the venues that are struggling, not knowing whether they'll be able to reopen. Because it's not just about the individual venue, it's about the fact that you get used to going to somewhere and you almost take it for granted it will always be there.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately it was not the case before. We can't blame COVID for all this. It was not the case before.
Oh, how many venues have we gone to so often and they just, yeah.
Yeah, you take it for granted. You get so used to it that you think it will always be there, but it will only always be there with support. But you don't have to always support somewhere with attending, especially at the moment, because there are certain organisations that have set up to support music venues. So if anybody can afford to put anything into it, seek them out, put something in to the fund, just in the hope that they'll still be there when we come out of this. But also, maybe it'll spur people on to say, well, these places are important.
I mean, there's, we've talked about bands themselves diversifying and artists diversifying. Venues are now diversifying. I mean, and have been doing for the past few weeks, actually. I think, is it the Bunkhouse in Swansea? They've been doing some fantastic meals. I've been seeing photos of, and it's just like, dash, I wish they were closer. I would support them, but there would be no
Researcher Josie says yes.
Yeah, oh good. I'm glad I haven't got that wrong. Oh, they're doing some stunning takeaways at the moment, and yeah, for two reasons I can't order it. I want to support them, I'll have to support them in another way. But I can't support them because, one, the food will be cold by the time it gets here, because we're about 9 miles away, and two, because we're 9 miles away, which is greater than the 5 mile limit. I mean, I know that might be relaxed at some point, but still, it's not really practical for me to support them in that way. It's more practical for me to drive there and pick up a takeaway, but again, can't do that right now. So obviously I know we're limited, but again, that will force us to support things that are local. I know we bought some beer off Little Goat Brewery, and they're literally down the road, only a mile away from us. So Finnegan's, a place that we played a gig at a few months before lockdown. They're in Porthcawl, I think, and they've started. I don't know if they did takeaways before, but they've diversified by starting to do takeaways, and it's also in a place where you can actually conveniently drive up to and get your takeaway and go away without causing too much of a traffic jam.
You can't
as per other takeaways.
You can't overemphasize the importance of that, because there are people that are in lockdown that have not got families.
Yeah.
They're depending on volunteers, and they can't necessarily get the online orders because you can phone up an online order. You can say, "Can I get one today?" And they say, "Yes, of course you can put it in today, but it will arrive in a week's time."
Yeah.
So to be able to have access to food that is cooked for you and that can be collected locally is wonderful. All of the things that have come out of the pandemic, while people are complaining about what they've lost, they have to concentrate on what they've gained.
Yeah.
Well, I gained a big box this morning. I wasn't expecting it.
Yes, you did.
We should shout them out. Haystack in Bryn Hyfryd.
Yeah, Josie has been supporting them for weeks now.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's more cakes in this house than there are in the shop. I joked with them the other day.
I don't know, I haven't seen them.
For the Father's Day surprise, she ordered me a box full of goodies, and it's absolutely chock-a-block with all types of cakes and cheese and sausage roll and a drink and chutney and crackers to go with the cheese and pretzels. Pretzels, popcorn, blinking heck, and because I don't drink, I've got a bottle of
Oh, he's dipped out. Elderflower cordial. Dad said, yeah. No, it wasn't because you said it wrong. It's because your mic dipped out.
And it came with a joke. Have you heard the joke about the butter?
No.
I better not tell you what spread it.
That's good.
Mum had a joke about the butter as well, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Or that you saw online. It's not your joke.
Yeah, I saw something where it said there was a creation out of butter. And so someone said, "Is that butter?" And they said, "No, it's Stonehenge." They said, "Oh, I can't believe it's not butter."
Other butters are available. Other margarines are available. It's not butter, is it really?
Order your cakes and things from Haystack Bakery in Bryn Hyfryd.
Others are available.
And brownies.
And also bear in mind what I just said. They can only do that if they're within a 5-mile radius, and we are broadcasting to the world right now. So, yeah. Actually, I will open this out to everybody.
They post on Instagram every Sunday night.
Instagram.
The Instagram, okay.
Instagram, I said.
But we're here for another. Well, actually, we'll probably be a bit longer than 10 o'clock because I'm cutting out songs, but we'll still run over a little bit. I don't see the harm in doing so as the last show, but I think half hour over is probably not very good. But if you want to get in touch, jamie@offthechartradio.co.uk, or send a message via social networking. If you can see my video on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Periscope, or Twitch, if you post a message on there, it'll appear on the video stream as well. To give a shout out to places. Obviously, I can only talk about places that I know about, even if they're not local to me. Cellar Bar and Cardigan, they've diversified by opening a record shop.
Wow.
So yeah, they're getting going with that. So that looks really exciting.
Take advantage of what's available now, and in some ways it could continue. We hope it will continue, because always remember that although lockdown has enforced people who would never have thought about it to be locked down within their homes, there are people that are locked down within their homes, and what will come out of lockdown will help those people with any kind of medical condition, maybe some kind of mental health condition where they can't leave their homes for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Support these initiatives and hope that they will continue, because they are making a more compassionate society.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we all want.
I'm not necessarily sure the next song fits in with that, but never mind. As in, I don't know all the lyrics. One of the lyrics is "Father and Two Sons," which I thought was very apt for Father's Day. With apologies to my sister. Doesn't quite work exactly, I know, but
she's got the muscles in the family, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, and also possibly.
In fact, when Dad was doing the garden, he said, "Where's the muscles? I need the muscles."
She may be the only member of the family who's seen the inside of a gym. Although, no, I have seen the inside of a gym. I tell a lie. Off the Chart Radio when we did Clavstock.
I looked through the window once.
Yeah, we broadcast from a gym, so I have seen the inside of a gym.
Yeah.
With equipment in. Josie's voice has been on the air! For the last show. So here's the Bleeding Noses and Black River. Leading on with our... Well, we'll change the theme to river now. From mountain. River deep, mountain high. Now we've got Black River. Excuse me. Or squash. Talking too much. Obviously, that's what it is. So realised I could dedicate this to that. Wasn't there a lake that they filled with black dye to stop people going swimming in it because of lockdown or something? Realised I haven't been checking my Facebook again. Oh well. So the volume is going up and up and up on this. It's weird. Either that or my ears are adapting. Probably is that my ears are adapting, but it feels like the volume gauges on there are really high and the volume going into my headphones is really low. There we are. I'll stop catching that in my headphones, haven't I? See if I've got any messages. They've changed everything in this group now. Main chat, there you go. The Bleeding Noses, aka the Noses, aka Nose. and Black River. I said I don't think that links in with what we were talking about, but I suppose there's a slightly tenuous link in that. Didn't they dye a river or something, or was it a lake to stop people swimming in it because of lockdown? And they filled it with a load of black dye or something to try and put people off. Anyway, we're gonna have some Ragsy now on the show. I can hear the yays from next door, even though I haven't turned the mics up. Let's try that again. We're gonna play some Ragsy on the show now.
Hey.
I'm so that was more enthusiastic. And for actually, when
Ragsy!
Okay, Ragsy! Yeah, too much. Okay, no, that was good. Right, when I played this track, I thought, oh great, I'm gonna have to do some editing on this because it's silent at the start, and then I turned it up, and I realised no, it's not silent. The track is called "Feels Like Home." And so he started it with a minute of ambient background audio from home, which I think is lovely. So we've officially brought an end to the tenuous track title tour. Oh, no reaction to that. But we're going to do some songs for tenuous. We're going to keep the tenuous bit. They're going to be songs tenuously for you, Dad.
Yay!
Don't sound too happy about it.
Yippee!
Cheers for the follow, Rise Jordan. Rise? Have I said that right? Risey? Rise? I normally have like a notification thing that goes whoop across the top, but that's on my Twitch stream when I'm doing the exclusively Twitch stream, which I am planning to do. I'm earmarking next Thursday, 8 till 10 p.m. UK time, for a little bit of a just chatting / retro, probably Sonic the Hedgehog stream or something like that. Although it may be Beehive Bedlam actually, because I've just discovered that Beehive Bedlam has been recreated by a team of fans. The game that used to be on Skyboxes years ago, that I played a lot. So huge nostalgic buzz, no pun intended. So I might play that on stream. I'm really chuffed actually because the creators of the game, when I posted that I might do that on my stream, the creators of the game actually retweeted it. I was like, oh my gosh, how cool is that? So yeah, but this is my final behind-the-scenes radio stream. I've been doing a radio show for the last couple of months on Off the Chart Radio Pop-Up, which is a pop-up version of Off the Chart Radio, which was running from 2004 to 2014. I joined the station in 2008 until it closed, and then in the last few months, because of the lockdown, we've relaunched as a pop-up. But this is my last show on the station, so it'll be the last show from this studio. I was going to do like a sort of comedic thing where I was going to come in and start taking the TV down, but I never got around to that. Me turning around to myself and going, oh, can you wait a few minutes? Because, you know, still doing my last show here. But yeah, from next week on, we'll be in our dedicated Twitch room, dedicated Nemosphere Twitch room. And doing some retro games, some new games I've got lined up. I can't run anything that's too graphics intensive because I am still waiting for the graphics card that I ordered in May. Hi Mouse, how are you doing? Good to have you on the show. Again, as I explained to everybody who's just joined, the music's actually on there for licensing reasons that I'm sure everyone on Twitch is fully aware of and doesn't need me to repeat or reiterate. I'm not playing any music on this stream apart from last week, or Tuesday actually. Ragsy and Feels Like Home. Now, Dad did say that he would like me to play some Cat Stevens, and he also said that he wanted me to play a song that I didn't have. I said, but I don't have that one. What was the one you requested that I don't have?
Father and Son, isn't it?
Yeah, which would have been apt because it's Father's Day, of course. But I said I had 2 songs. Now, if I play both of them, we're definitely going to overrun.
Just play one then.
Yeah, but even if I only play one, we're definitely going to overrun.
Don't play any then.
Yeah, but if I do that, I'll just be saying, right, bye.
I'll say bye then.
Jim,
because it's my last show, shall I do a Mike Redding and just carry on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim,
There we are.
Only 5 too.
If Mum told me and I have to do what Mum says. Sorry, Tim.
It's only 10 too.
Jim,
Yeah,
can I
now.
just say something about Ragsy?
Yeah, go on then.
That was so incredible when we've been to see him in concert, and he says about how when he won a certain competition and there was a CD released, and his dad was taking the CD around the neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was so touching to say, saying, "This is my son."
Oh, absolutely.
It
And
was
moments like that are very special.
Yeah, it's so incredible. We've got, I presume it's the same phrase probably in communities all over the UK, but we tend to say local boy does good.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of good.
And it does mean a lot. It really means a lot within the communities someone comes from.
And such a down to earth, lovely guy. Again, he's one of these people you can chat to like he is just down the road from you.
Yeah, if anyone gets a chance to go to see him, I mean, it wasn't the last time we saw him, but we saw him when you were playing.
Got to be about a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago now, actually.
Yeah, you were playing at an event, and he had the most horrific suntan.
Yeah.
To the point of being painful suntan.
Yeah.
But he still showed up for the event, and he felt he had to point out the reason why his face was so red.
Yeah, quite.
But and red in different situations. It wasn't just all over red. It was kind of more red on one side than the other, which had been pointed to the sun.
Yeah.
But it meant so much to him. Every single event that he's had, it means a lot to him. A lot to be in events that are featured in Wales, because it is this thing of local boys. And you, with the folk club, the folk club said local boy does good about you.
Yeah.
When you played in Ponty Festival, it means such a lot. Well, no, actually you played at Ponty Festival with Doid Threath, to be accurate.
Who?
Doid Threath.
You may have a third go at this, and then I'm going to say it.
Doid.
Yeah, even Dad didn't quite get it right.
I did.
You said huich.
Did.
You said huich with 2 CHs.
It's 2 left feet.
No, it's huich. I don't even know if huich is a word. Welsh for 2 left feet. Doi, droid, huich.
And the local folk club wrote an article where they said local boy does good. It means a lot in Wales.
It does. It means a lot anywhere, but
I think it does mean a lot within any close communities. But Wales tends to think of itself as a whole, as a close community.
You're not talking about. Oh, sorry. It's just you reminded me about a Barry Welsh sketch. That's all.
Well, of course.
The brilliant John Sparks, who played the character of Barry Welsh for many years, which you may not have encountered outside Wales. But I can recommend, now that we have things like YouTube and search engines and everything, these are things you can find now.
Mainly because it's a challenge.
That's one of the main things in it. But it's when you said whole. Wales considers itself a whole, and I was about to say, no, you're thinking of Rill. You're thinking of Rill there. Apologies to people of Rill who are listening. But that was one of Barry Sparks. I've mixed up 2 characters. That was one of Barry Welsh's jokes. He just goes, and now we're going live to Hugh Pugh, who is broadcasting today. That was Hugh Pugh's voice, yes. Hugh Pugh, who is broadcasting from the whole of Wales. And sorry, by the whole of Wales, we didn't mean Rill. It's really bad, isn't it?
The funniest thing about that was that Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor had come back.
Yeah.
To promote Under Milkwood, which he had
That song really got to us, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. He had narrated it.
Yeah.
So But where was it? Hugh Pugh was supposedly doing the interview.
So John Sparks played all of these different characters. There was old Mistiff as well, all of these different characters you can look at. But Barry Welsh is Coming was the show title, and Hugh Pugh was like a roving reporter, and he had like an old style microphone. He was always in black and white, so it was like a sort of like a time travel pastiche type of thing going on.
And he had a lisp.
A little bit, yeah. So, yes, it would be. Hello, I am reporting today from, all that sort of stuff. But of course, what he had was, John Sparks has this huge wealth available to him through the ITV archive. Basically, I'm starting to talk like him now, not meaning to. Through the ITV archive. No, that's not him. That's more like his other one of his other characters.
It was weaving together fact and fiction, but
and Richard Burton. There were archive clips but he only ever used Welsh clips. That's the thing. But Clint Eastwood came to Wales for something, so he had a clip of Clint Eastwood. Richard Burton came to Wales, so he had a clip of Richard Burton, and he'd put in his own version of what might have been said instead, and they'd answer. That's where the whole is it because it's a challenge would come from.
Yeah, maybe because it's a challenge.
Maybe because it's a challenge, yeah.
I can't. Is it Geraint something?
Geraint Pillock was his character name, although he had a proper name because he was actually like a champion coracle rower, wasn't he, or something?
From Kenarth.
From Kenarth.
And his brother.
It's a lovely place if you ever get to go there.
Yeah, I think his brother still lives there.
Yeah.
And is connected to the Coracle Museum.
Because they had this clip, and he kept. What was clever about it was that even if you'd seen the same clips over and over again, he'd mix them up in a different way, and in ways that you never thought was possible. So, one of the funniest ones. It would always be about Geraint setting a new record. Well, Geraint, I'm very surprised this week, but it seems like you're planning to row your coracle to Mars. I mean, why would you do such a thing?
Maybe because it's a challenge.
Yeah, it was always stuff. It was just fantastic. And it's like, Mars is quite far away, isn't it? I mean, how long do you think it will take? Well, it'll take anywhere from about half an hour to an hour, depending on the weather. Yeah.
We are talking about Welsh weather.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's probably gusts of wind in Wales that could blow you to Mars on some days, but there we go. Right, we're going to play... I was going to link back to Ragsy, and we could say that he had a sun shadow instead of a moon shadow. Cue the booze for that joke. Not booze as in alcohol, booze as in boo.
No, we've had too much booze.
Hope you're enjoying the show, Mouse, as well. Sorry, I was going to give you a shout out, but I thought I'd better play a song first. And if you can't hear the music's on there, so if you tune into there, wrong hand, that one, then you can hear the music. So the idea is if you put that, you can put that on and listen to the show and then have this on in the background, although I know there's a bit of a time delay, so it's not necessarily the most practical thing to do, but yeah. This is the OTC studio, and by the magic of technology, it will transform into exactly the same room, just with Twitch stuff in the background. Cheers, that's good. And there's one more show tomorrow at 9 AM, and tomorrow 7 till 10 is when we're all joining together to say goodbye to Off the Chart Radio pop-up. Yeah, it will be sad to see it go, but it's got me back into wanting to do some sort of broadcast, so it's spurred on whatever future Twitch stuff may happen. That wouldn't have happened without Off the Chart coming back. So, yeah. Well, neither can I, because I know in the Discord group, Mouse was saying, I can't wait to see... I don't need to repeat it, it's on here. Yeah. On Twitch, the messages don't come up. I could get them to come up. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. I'm on Twitch now. I've set this up so that I'm broadcasting on Twitch, Periscope, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live. But then from next week on, I'm planning to only be on Twitch. This is just because it's a way of getting the radio station out to as many people as possible. But yeah, it's easier to coordinate what's going on when I'm dedicating myself to one stream at a time. And when I'm on Twitch only, I should have said, the messages don't come up. I could find a way of doing it very easily. I know how to do it should I choose to. It's just I'm trying to get into the habit of doing as others do, that if you, I like the fact that the chat isn't on the screen all the time because it doesn't get in front of the games. Oh, another track. Just to make incredibly clear that I wasn't booing Cat Stevens there, by the way. That was Moon Shadow, and I've got 2 tracks by Cat Stevens, now known as Yusuf Islam, of course. But then he was known as Cat Stevens, and I have 2 tracks by him, and I said, which one would you like me to play to Dad? And he said both. Why not? Here's Lady d'Arbanville. I think I've said that right. Got some Bee Gees on the way. Yeah, I think that was right. So yeah, I could very easily get the chat to come up there, but I like the fact it's off to the side and people refer to it rather than... If you have it on the screen, it could get in the way of the gameplay, I suppose. I don't know. Personal choice. Some people put it up while they're doing the just chatting, that's fine. I'm trying to get into the habit of reading out the message rather than just replying to it, because obviously if I just reply to it and people are watching Twitch like I do on the tablet without the chat open, yeah, they might not realise what I'm replying to. But of course now I don't have to say it because it's up there. But yeah, I've downloaded loads of games. I've oh, that's shook then, randomly. I've still only got Sonic the Hedgehog on the retro emulator, but what have I downloaded? Destiny? I didn't realise that was free, Destiny 2. CSGO. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I can't get to work at all. Just keeps coming up with a DirectX unrecoverable error. And won't get past that. I've tried every trick in the book, every forum post, every reply to that forum post, every possible permutation of the tricks that they've suggested. It will not go. Ne marche pas. I'm not French, I just... Ne marche pas. Doesn't work at all. Not crucial, I suppose. There are other games, but it's a bit annoying because Beacon Gaming was saying that you've been up for a game and showing me the ropes, and I can't get onto it. So, meh. Oh, the thing you might be interested in, though. You know, you were playing Mario Maker the other day. I saw another channel. I'll try and look up what they were called. And they were playing... have you heard of Diagonal Mario? I've never heard of it before. It was bonkers. Like, gravity was all diagonal and the characters were all like leaned back or forwards, and it was bonkers. It's hilarious, but it was bonkers, and it reminded me of the Mario Maker, that's all. I don't know if it's part of Mario Maker. I honestly don't know. Let me see if I can... I'm trying to find their channel link. I can't remember what they were called now. It'll be in the ones I'm following, won't it? That's the thing. I started to... before I was only following a couple of people, now I'm following so many people I can't... I can get it by... I found it through Barrier Breaker 20's profile. Let's do another link. Or another track at least. Let's do that jingle. There we go. Transition that song. But yeah, it was called Diagonal Mario or something like that. Yeah. Maybe that's what they did. They just changed all the parameters to 45 degrees instead of 0. I was just trying to look in suggested streamers and try and match up. Oh, no. go for the next set because I only saw them once. I can't remember the name. It hasn't stuck. No. No, I remember watching them the other day. Wasn't them. Then? Yeah. Mike's on. I had two versions of that one. I thought it might be a nice one to play, the live version of Bee Gees and Words. And up next, I've got a track that I didn't know this person had done, or at least I didn't know they'd recorded it anyway. So, what did you think of that one first, producer Dad? Let's do that.
Loved it. Loved it.
Good.
Loved
Right.
it.
So beautiful.
It was, wasn't it? I've got one more track in the sort of Father's Day stuff, and then we're going to officially say goodbye. I think it's okay. I've overrun because I don't want to say goodbye yet. Maybe now it's finally kicking in.
Now it's getting to you.
Yeah.
Now is the time to say goodbye.
Well,
Bye.
not yet. Not until I play this one. Actually, let's get your reaction. If it doesn't talk over the start, let's get your reaction to this. Oh, I will talk over the start because you have to wait to hear it, I suppose, too. I have to have your reaction after the song. Because if you react during the song, you won't be able to tell who it is until they start singing. And when they start singing, we shouldn't talk over them. That's my point. Then we'll know. But here's a song that you'll definitely guess straight away. I'll tell you who it's by and what it is after it's finished. Unless you're watching online, of course, in which case it tells you on the screen, but let's pretend. Let's not watch. Don't cheat. Close your eyes. Turn away. Yeah, I was meant to finish at 10 o'clock. One of the DJs on the station, Mike Redding, always used to overrun by like an hour. I feel a bit naughty now, but I mean, also there's nobody on after us. It's not. It's different if there's people on after you. If it throws the schedule off. It used to be years ago on the station. There'd be automated songs that were due on after you. So if you left it too long, like every single automated show after you would be pushed on. But in this case, no, because it just plays random tracks. So it'll make absolutely no difference whatsoever. Even so, it's a little bit naughty. Could be a way to check if the station manager's listening. If he's not tuned in right now, then he doesn't know, then it's not my fault. Okay. Yeah. Got 4 more songs left after this one. I know I've wound down a bit now. This always happens at the end of the show. Except normally the end of the show is at 10 o'clock, so I watched back the video stream and I've just stopped. At 10 to the end of the show, I just nope. I've shut down, I've given up. I won't do that on my proper Twitch streams, I promise. I can't give up. If I'm playing a game, I'll be playing the game at least, even if I stop talking. But you try and talk to, because what I've realised is with the retro games, well, like me with Super Mario Maker and the Diagonal Mario and all that stuff, these are games I haven't seen before, so I don't know how they work. So same with when I was playing Sonic the other day, I thought, well, actually, it's not, you know, I mean, it might be a bit patronising to people who know the game, you know, not meant to be, but some people might be seeing it for the first time ever, and then they won't know what's going on. So I was explaining, oh, this is what you can do with Sonic. You know, it's actually all brand new to people who would be watching. Some people would be watching. So I hope that's kind of an okay thing to do. I think that's a valuable thing to do. Like, and what I liked about Sonic as well is none of these complicated X's and circles and triangles and right buttons and left buttons. None of that nonsense. That causes me difficulty. I rubbish at games at the best of times, but sorry, itchy under the EMF thing. Just one action button and a D-pad. That's it. You know, you can press A or B, and they both do the same thing. I love that. Mike's on. Right, well, Mum knows, so I won't ask Mum, but Producer Dad, who was that?
The great, the extraordinary Jim Fox.
It was. Did you know he'd recorded that?
No, I didn't. And Mum had to give me some hints. I knew who was singing it, but I just couldn't figure out the name. I just knew the voice.
Yeah.
My hint was.
Was. My
hint was. He was Jim Fox. He was Madre Rua.
Yeah.
Which is the red fox. And now he's become known as the grey fox.
You were trying to say was and fox at the same time. I get it. Yeah.
But it also reminded me that with the pandemic, a lot of people who had been homeless have been put up in accommodation in order to isolate in a way that they couldn't be isolated on the streets.
Yeah.
So again, as this is your last show, and I'm taking a lot of exceptions here, privileges, whatever, for being Studio 2. I am taking advantage of the fact to remind people, if there are, think about now that there will be people on the streets that a couple of weeks ago weren't, that had the opportunity, some people have had the opportunity to go forward into accommodation or just to be regarded as individuals where they weren't seen as problems, but seen as people. And so if you see any opportunity to help people to be people, to go forward and to attain a better way of life, please do so. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that song always gets me, especially those lyrics where it says about each tea lasts an hour. It reminds me of when I've been stuck, but I've only been stuck in town for a few hours, let's say, while I'm waiting for an appointment or a bus home or whatever, before I was driving. And I felt that, where it's just, you feel like you're in a cafe and you think, oh, I'll have to buy another cup of tea now just to stay here. And of course some people are doing that because they've got nowhere else to go. So, yeah. And, we say the same with your pub that Josie works in. We think, how could people be there so early and stay so long? Well, sometimes it's because they've got nowhere else better to be. Literally, that's.
It can also be because people are scared of utilities bills.
Yeah.
If you're in
and you're using
a business environment, you're using their utilities bills. But yeah, this has been a time for everybody to realize that there are certain things that are important to all.
Yeah.
And I think somebody says, I don't know what's in the American Constitution, which says life and liberty. But the point is that we all have the same needs. We need shelter, we need food, we need compassion. And that this time of a pandemic, by being global, not just tied down to borders, it's been global, and that's reminded us that at the end of the day we are all one human race. We have certain needs, certain necessities. I think it would be horrendous if after going through this experience we forget that.
Yeah, we had drawing a tenuous link again, but we had more than words, in the Bee Gees song, and it's almost like that we've had people recently over the last few months, without saying any names, but you probably know who I'm talking about, who've said this, and it just doesn't seem to have been enough. It's fallen on deaf ears. It's, these are obvious things. You shouldn't need someone to tell you that these are needs. But, and that applies to lots of things that have been spoken about over the last few months, you shouldn't need someone to tell you that these things are important. You shouldn't need someone to tell you that things should be different. But for some reason we do, and we don't listen. Or many of us don't listen. And now, through unfortunate circumstances due to the pandemic, but we've had it thrown literally into our path so that we can't avoid them. We can't ignore them anymore. And hopefully, when other paths open up, when things start relaxing, people won't just forget, as you say. So, I don't know how we're going to segue onto the other news, but it felt wrong as well to not play any Vera Lynn on my last show, because...
but it does connect. Because globally this is a catastrophe, and the only thing we can link it to is to the world wars, because that affected the world.
Yeah, quite.
And it also galvanized people into realizing what was important.
Yeah. And what comes to mind immediately, everybody always goes, again, we've had this recurring theme on all of the shows, and talked about it in interviews as well, about the fact you don't often hear the album tracks. It'd be very easy to play We'll Meet Again, and it's a wonderful song, and it would be very corny to do so, to finish the station and say, oh, we'll meet again, because that wasn't the context of the song, and it's kind of at best corny and at worst inappropriate. But what's weird is I found this song, and I thought, oh, I don't know whether I'm going to play this one or not. And then Mum independently found this song. So when I came in off the computer, Mum said, I found this song. And I was just like, that's weird. That's the song I was just listening to. So you've done it again, Mum! Stop it with this psychic link, honestly. But it was very, very strange that we both independently arrived on this song. And again, I want to clarify, because it's a song called It Hurts to Say Goodbye. I'm not saying that it's not sad that Off the Chart Radio Pop-Up is closing. I'm not, it's not so much that it hurts. As I said before, at the start of the show, I said I'm kind of okay with it this time. And Rob Wong on the show before me said it's weird how I'm kind of okay with it. I think because we know that, like the other song, we know we will meet again, even if it is in a few years' time, even if it is after lockdown is all over. You know, we'll meet up, even if, as we've jokingly said, it's just, you know, for us all to go on a night out somewhere. That'd be quite cool.
Where there's a will, there's a way is a good proverb.
We don't have a will on the station.
You need a will.
So we can't. Where there's no will, there'll have to be a way. Unless we get a will. There we are. We'll have to recruit a will from the archives of.
Have we got a way on the station, huh?
We haven't got a way, no.
Researcher Josie suggests, as I've got the name wrong so many times, it could be a Will Wong.
Rob, what do you think? Or have you got a brother or a cousin called Will? We'll just bring him along.
That will do. That will do.
Anyway, right. Try not to laugh at the start of this one, but it's not. It's a song that's very poignant, but it's not necessarily too. I don't want to say it's not too sad. It's just that it's not one of those where, you know, it's going to be tear jerking. It's one of those. It's more like a folk club. We were talking about folk club. It's more like one of those songs where you're just going to go, yeah. I agree with that sentiment, despite the title. Although it does hurt us to say goodbye to Vera Lynn, of course, as a nation. Yeah, sorry, I didn't comment on the Super Mario 3 then. Yeah, I had Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy. I didn't have any NES ones. Alright, yeah, that's okay. It's getting quite late, actually. Speak to you soon, and hope to catch one of your streams soon. It sounded a bit like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. The next time you see me, I will be on Twitch, probably. On Thursday from 8 till 10, possibly. And cheers for tuning in. Glad you enjoyed. playing this song called I didn't want to play We'll Meet Again by Vera Lynn. Not that it's not a great song, but it just would have been a bit too easy. But this one's called We Will Meet Once Again by Andrea Bocelli and Josh Groban. So that's quite a nice sort of nod to it. We've transitioned into, we seem to have gone into Classic FM now. We'll put the mics on. Andrea Bocelli and Josh Groban with We Will Meet Once Again. And you just heard, after that, Sarah Brightman and the London Symphony Orchestra, also featuring Andrea Bocelli, and Time to Say Goodbye, Conte Partito, which, of course, in English translates to half an hour ago. You're listening to Off the Classical Radio Pop-Up. And I can't keep that voice going anymore because it's hitting my throat. But there we go. Hello, producer Mum and Dad. I thought we were going a bit sort of classical radio then. Classical radio. Final words? Final squeaks of the microphone?
That was just a beautiful way to say goodbye.
Yeah. I'm still okay. I'm a bit more sad than I was at the start of the show now that it actually is. Even though I've prolonged it by 38 minutes. But yeah, it's kind of sad, but as I say, it's not as sad as last time because we know it will happen again. I'm going to say it. It will happen again. Not may happen again. It will happen again. Because I'll make it happen if Tim doesn't. There you go. That's a gauntlet thrown.
That didn't work the first time round.
I know, but it doesn't stop me hoping, does it? Tune in tomorrow from 9 a.m. for the last ever Sam and Joe morning show. Well, on Off the Chart Radio Pop-Up, maybe they'll do a Sam and Joe morning show somewhere else. I mean, that's what made me sadder, was Rob Wong saying, this is my last show on radio ever. And because I know I'm now talking about doing something on Twitch, and hello to Mouse as well, who tuned in for the last 20 minutes or so and caught the show and enjoyed the show.
You may have to review Twitch.
How do you mean?
Well, Dad had put his mic on while we were enjoying accompanying a certain person.
Oh, oops. Oh well. But
you told us to put the mics on, so I put the mic on.
Yes, but not to sing over the top. Oh, well, anyway, but yeah, I'm talking about that, and that will be a chat/game stream thing. And so
apologies, but sorry.
Yeah, well, I'll have to cut that out afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that we will do radio again somewhere else, or at least something. Keep the broadcasting going somehow. Maybe a podcast or something, because it has revived the bug in me, and it's one of those things you don't realise you miss. It's almost like you accept that it's not there anymore, and then other things fill the gap, and you don't realise how much you miss it until you do it again.
But also, you have to acknowledge that some things just are points in your life that are important to you. And I think you have to acknowledge that. That's why it was lovely to end it that way, because Vera Lynn has covered so many generations.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is sad to say goodbye to someone who's been a constant.
Yeah, and I honestly thought, like many people, that she'd be going for a good 10 years. Yeah, she was one of those people who just thought would be around forever.
Including Tom Moore.
Yeah, of course.
He said he was very sad because it's been his 100th birthday, and he said that he took so much solace from the speech that she gave, where she said, "We'll get through this."
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna end on an upbeat one. Oh, before I do, I nearly missed a message then. Rob Wong said, "This is great." You said jokingly, Dad. You said that there isn't somebody called Way, and I said, "Of course there isn't." Rob just messaged. He said he actually has an Uncle Way. Which
well, of course we knew that.
Is it W-A-Y or W-E-Y?
Neither, W-A-I, but it's pronounced Way.
But we knew it. We did. We just, we were just pretending we didn't know.
And he said there's a will. So there was a will back on RTC back in the day. He thinks he remembers them doing a dance show. I'm sure I remember a will. I just couldn't. I couldn't.
Will Wong and Way. That is the way forward.
Josie didn't say Will Wong.
No.
But apparently I misunderstood.
It's getting more embarrassing by the second, but anyway.
No, I misunderstood her
But
whispering.
we can have a will and a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
So we have to get Will back, and we have to get Uncle Way to join us at the meetup.
And Uncle Wong. And everybody else.
Who are you invited? Who do you know that we don't know? You're just inviting random people along now.
Yeah, it's going to be a reunion OTC party.
Yeah, but it will be like a true reunion if there's people there we don't know, I suppose. We'll all be going, I know you, I remember you, and I've seen your face, but who are you?
Doesn't that happen with every party?
Gangoli as well.
What are you on about there? Shush you.
Oh, yeah, remember, never...
Just because Mum's making up random names.
No, never announce a party on the air.
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody once did that.
And
it was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Right, so 9 a.m. tomorrow, Sam and Joe. 7 p.m. tomorrow. Join us for our 4-hour show that's actually 3 hours long. As a couple of people pointed out. 7 till 10 p.m. tomorrow evening is the last show. And it really will be the last show on Off the Chart Radio pop-up. Not like this one, which I thought was the last show, and it won't be because Sam and Joe are on tomorrow, so there we are.
But it'll be fun. Nobody should miss it.
And it'll be fun for us as well, because actually it's Tim Willits had to do the prep for it. I don't know if Tom's helped, or if Rob's helped, or if Jay's helped. I don't know who's had a part in actually preparing the show, but it wasn't me. So I can sit back and enjoy. I will be talking, hopefully, at some point during the show, yes, but I can sit back and enjoy the 3 hours knowing I don't have to prepare a thing. I don't have to press any buttons, prepare any music.
Excuse me.
I just have to listen, be part of it, contribute,
Excuse me,
enjoy.
Tim, there is a request, as you know.
Oh. What's the request?
There is a request about a certain engine.
What?
That's the only hint I'm giving. It's a certain engine that has to be featured.
What? No, why? What? But why though?
Because it's important.
Why?
Because it's a request.
Okay.
I'm saying goodnight on that part.
I don't get it, but okay. We're going to finish on this one. Because I've confused things by saying this was the last show and it wasn't. Says goodbye from me, but hello tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. and from 7 p.m. But for now, from me and from Mum and Dad. Well, I'm actually saying goodbye as well, but... Oh. Before I head off, let's see if there's anybody I can do this raid meeting on Bob. I'm trying to get into the habit after every Twitch stream. Apologies to those on YouTube, Periscope. This is a Twitch only thing, but if you would like to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JamieNemeth, I'm going to do some streams on there at point right now. Got a raid. I'm trying to get into the habit of doing, because otherwise I'll forget at the end of every show and at the end of every Twitch stream, and what you can join someone else's streams. Let's have a look who's on. Great time. So that's always a good. Go for Colin, who's a very friendly person who has been very supportive as well. So we're all supporting each other, so he's good fun, and a fellow musician as well. Does all these sort of fun challenges in the stream as well. So, night for now.